everybody. It's really slow this week, but I promised you 3 streams a week, and I really wanted to get back on that. So we're doing Ask Me Anything. We haven't had one for about a month, so I thought it would be a good way for us to chat and to say hi to everybody. Hello, everybody. So I am working. Oh, thank you, 80s model. Thank you so much. Again, I can't tell you how much that helps this channel, and it's just so slow. Hey, Lowell. So yeah, I'm working on, let's see, there was an X-Men story. Hold on. Let's see here. X-Men movie. Following the successful launch of Thunderbolts, director Jake Schreier might already have, so he's in early talks. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's great news. Okay, so there's a little bit of news, but it's too late for me to put it into the live. So I can, as data. But that's it never fails, But yeah, I think that's nice. Let's see how the X-Men come together. I thought he did a very nice job, and I think he's a solid director. I hope that, like Bryan Singer, he only can level up in terms of his ability to deliver action. The first X-Men movie had only medium action, and then X2 was genius. Happy Thursday, Andrew. Hey, Jorge. Hey, Daniel. That's great. I'm so happy for the X-Men movies, but I'm annoyed for myself because, I just went live and it can't go into the metadata. It's really slow right now. It's a really tough time. When did this story go up? 1:35. Oh, I would have had enough time if I had not been furiously editing. But let's see. Such annoying times. Oh, for those of you who didn't hear, Jake Schreier has not signed on to direct the X-Men, but, the director of the Thunderbolts, but he's circling the project. So we'll see if he actually takes the gig and how long it takes to get there. Remember, an X-Men movie would not come out until 2028. So it's very, very far away. The tea I heard, I'll give you a little bit of tea since I'm so annoyed. I'll tell you that there's a little bit of, I would say that Doomsday is going to have a little Avengers versus X-Men flavor to it, which I find a little frustrating because, that should have been its own movie. I don't understand. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. I don't understand why that wouldn't be Avengers versus X-Men wouldn't be its own project. Why you would make that go under the Doomsday title, which is already using the Doomsday. I hate that comic too, 80s model. It was awful. But it's just, it's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just do a proper Doomsday and Secret Wars story and then Avengers versus X-Men down the line? It's just frustrating to me. All right, so yes, this is an Ask Me Anything. I wasted the X-Men news, but that's fine. We'll talk about it as it solidifies, hopefully, and as they start to put that movie together. Hey, Artsy, I'm glad you got a membership. Oh, Bianca, I'm so glad you liked my Conjuring trailer reaction. Daniel, I have no Stranger Things 5T, I'm afraid. X-Men Superfan says, hello, did you enjoy Hakita by Greg Rucka since you love Batman and Wonder Woman? I actually did not like that story in particular. I didn't like the artwork on it, but of course it's extremely famous, that storyline. It's one of the most famous Wonder Woman stories, and Greg Rucka is one of the most famous Wonder Woman writers, but it just didn't work for me. Keneal, I saw the Peacemaker poster. They're going to drop a trailer tomorrow. I'm still staying away from Peacemaker for the most part because it's just not my cup of tea. Unless they have some major Marvel, DC characters on there, then maybe I would pay some attention to it. Lex Luthor is rumored to have a cameo appearance, but that's the only thing that would make me more interested in Peacemaker. I'm very curious to see what the ratings are on that show. Because as some of you might recall, James Gunn got upset with me because I said that the first Peacemaker had only a niche audience, and I'm interested to see if that's still the case. Let's see. Sean says, what are your thoughts on the announcement of the Batman 2 shooting date with no director attached? You think people are overreacting? I wouldn't make anything out of it at this point. I think, it could even be just a typographical error. Let's just see what happens. I'd be really shocked if Matt Reeves didn't make that movie, especially after such a long delay. Like, what was the point of that delay if he's going to bow out anyway? Lowell says, I have a Star Wars related question. Why was toxic behavior in Star Wars fandom so tolerated from 1999 to 2015? Why did it only started getting called out after The Last Jedi? It wasn't really tolerated. I just think that the culture and fandom was in a different spot back then. The internet existed to the point that it made George Lucas really upset, and there was harassment of those Star Wars actors, but not to the degree that there is now. Also, Star Wars started to move in a different direction, and it started to bring in some new fans who liked the new direction. So those fans started to fight the old Star Wars fans who liked the way it was. Beforehand, there was no really new fans being brought in. So it just basically, back in the day when the original Star Wars prequels came out, everybody hated them. Like, very few people defended them. Dave Filoni changed the narrative thanks to the success of his of his animated shows, which kind of retconned the prequels. But everybody was unhappy with the prequels back in the day. And so that's another reason. Everybody was on the same page, but now there's divisiveness. That's, I think, the big difference. Let's see here. Lawson says, seeing Thunderbolts at the Universal City Walk IMAX tonight. Have a great time. That's a great theater. It's really a fun theater, too, because of the way they have their food given out there. It's almost like going into someone's kitchen. It's a lot of fun. I hope you have a good time. Astronomy says, how do you think Thunderbolts will perform in its second weekend? I just talked about that the other day, actually. I said that I thought it would probably have a typical fall of around somewhere in the 60th percentile. However, I think because it's so slow and nothing else is coming out this weekend, really, you maybe might have a fall in the 50s. But I think there are a lot of other issues with the movie. I think a lot of it's available already on social media. You don't really need to see the film. I think that, a lot of people already saw it multiple times opening weekend. Apparently a copy of it is leaked online already. So I think it's going to be high 50s, low 60s in terms of the drop. Jorge, I'm so sorry to hear you had a bad experience at the movies. Honest says, hi Grace, did you have a chance to see the trailer for the new movie, The Long Walk? I did, and I really was so happy to see David Johnson from Alien Romulus in the movie, who played Andy. But I thought it was only okay. I couldn't understand why anybody would participate in a contest where you were almost for sure going to be killed. I read a little bit about the original Stephen King novel and how they felt that anybody who would partake in that competition probably had a death wish. But it maybe seemed, I liked the cast so much and I can see myself reviewing it, but from like a fan perspective, it seems a little bit too bleak for me. Aralysis says, what cast shakeup do you think is needed for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? They have a real problem there. I stopped even watching the reunions because it was just too toxic and hateful. I would get rid of Dorit. I think she went full Lisa Rinna. She went too far. I would try so hard to get Garcelle back, but I don't know if that's possible. I'm kind of unhappy with Sutton as well. I didn't like the way she handled herself either. I don't even know if I'm going to watch the next season. It's going to be really hard. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think they definitely need at least two new cast members on the show. Gunnar says, hey Grace, out of curiosity, what is the first movie you want to see kick off the mutant saga? I guess putting the team together, I guess. I don't know. I got to see who the X-Men are. I just hope they're not all kids. That would really frustrate me a lot. So he wants to know when that Wicked trailer is coming. I still feel it might come out with How to Train Your Dragon in June. I think that's my next educated guess, but I haven't heard anything about a Wicked trailer. Matthew says, why is Peacemaker DCU canon? It makes no sense. Because it's James Gunn's project. That's why. It shouldn't even have been continued, in my opinion. But, I mean, and I like John Cena. Editing Geek, I did not see Sadie Sink on Broadway, but I saw she was Tony nominated. I'm glad that you got to not only see her show, but meet her. That's awesome. I think, you know, her star is rising really quickly. She and Joseph Quinn are the biggest stars, actually, to come out of Stranger Things, which is so interesting. It's not any of the original cast members, which I find surprising. It must be very frustrating for them. Faye, I saw that Liza Colon-Zayas, who just recently won an Emmy for The Bear, was cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I have no idea who she's playing. I'm sure it's probably going to be like a New York-style character that Peter Parker interacts with. You know, he probably needs someone to take over for Aunt May. Oh, sadness, Aunt May's dead. That was pretty brutal. I felt very bad for Marissa Tomei. They really made me feel it. But yeah, I just thought of that. They're going to need someone for Peter to have as a confidant, someone for him to talk to. And she'd be wonderful. I really like her a lot. Let's see here. N1 says, favorite Met Gala look. I like Zendaya. I think she always looks fabulous. I thought Joey King looked really nice. So many people didn't follow the theme, which I also found frustrating. I saw a lot of people on the internet being like, you're supposed to be wearing a take on a suit. What are some of you doing? And so that was kind of annoying. I thought Monica Barbaro, I thought she had a really nice kind of cute take on a Chanel suit. You know, Coco Chanel's famous look. So I thought that was nice too. I thought those were some of the nicest looks that I saw. Yes, Poke, if you could like and subscribe to be on the trailer, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Salvum. Tyler wants Kyle, Dorit, and Erica to go. Kyle will never go. She's the one who started the franchise for Beverly Hills. She'll never leave. Dylan says, how do you feel about the new Karate Kid movie? You know, it's interesting. The actor who plays the new Karate Kid is in The Long Walk. He's in that movie. Ben Wang, I think. But I think that movie looks pretty good, actually. I think they're trying really hard to get people interested in it. I think it's really low on, like, the excitement scale. But I think the movie itself, well, a couple trailers I've seen have looked good. I'm excited to see that. I'll cover that movie for sure. Okay, hold on. All right, so Sam says, did you see the new GTA 6 trailer? I talked about it yesterday. I said it made me very thirsty. I think it looks incredible. I'm not going to play the game, but I probably will watch the cutscenes and review them. Hey, Catalan in Romania. Do you think the political climate influenced Netflix to make a movie instead of a season 4 for Heartstopper? No, actually, I don't think that's it at all. As I've been saying for a while now, I've really gotten the feeling that Joe Locke and Kit Connor are really not, they don't want to do that show anymore, particularly Kit. I think that a movie was the only way to get them back, and they're both going to be executive producers on it, I believe, if they weren't already on the show with the seasons. But I think both of them are having tremendous opportunities in the movie space. You know, Kit was just in Warfare, and of course Joe Locke is Wiccan, and I think they just don't want to do that show anymore. I don't know how, and apparently this is the end of the comic as well. So I think that's why they decided to do a movie. If they didn't do a movie, they probably wouldn't have been able to come back. Yeah, Daniel, I don't know where Jurassic World and Superman, where are your trailers, man? Your movies are coming out very soon. There should be a lot of trailers to go in front of Mission Impossible, even though I don't think ticket sales are doing that well. You see that Tom Cruise is going to Texas? He's like, please, Middle America, see my movie. And we'll see if that works out for him. Paul, I don't remember the first movie I saw in theaters, but thank you for asking. Let's see here. Lowell says, in 2002, Lilo and Stitch opened with Minority Report. In 2025, Lilo and Stitch opens with Mission Impossible. That's so funny. That's really hilarious. You know, I think they should do something on that. You know, Tom Cruise should maybe talk about that. That would be hilarious. We'll see. I think Stitch is going to bury him at the box office. But that's pretty funny. Let's see. Warren says, thoughts on HBO Harry Potter casting and Trump's movie industry tariffs. Well, I talked about the tariffs on Tuesday, on the Tuesday live stream, so you can check out my thoughts there. And then as for Harry Potter, you know, they've gone a little bit further, just as I predicted. And they said that the tariffs wouldn't apply to things that, of course, within the context of the story, need to be shot overseas. And Harry Potter would definitely qualify as one of those projects. So that wouldn't affect Harry Potter whatsoever. As I said on Tuesday, and people thought that I was being too generous and giving the benefit of the doubt, and it turns out I'm right, that it's really just to keep people from shooting things that, cheating other countries for American locations and soundstage filming. That's largely what they're going to try and curtail. Rex says, what are the top classic movies that you love? I'm a big Alfred Hitchcock fan. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. Tyler says, what would you think about Evan Rachel Wood as MCU Jean Grey? I'm not sure. I'd have to know the age range that Kevin Feige was going for. And I don't really think that Evan Rachel Wood would sell tickets. I'd be a little nervous about her casting. I probably wouldn't go with Evan Rachel Wood, to be honest with you. But I'm glad that you're a fan. Sahib, I'm glad you got to see Beyonce. She's fantastic. I'm part of the Beehive. Or at least I'm like Beehive adjacent. Let's see here. Frank says, any tea from the Game of Thrones universe? We're starving out here. No word yet, but I am very excited for the return of that show. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, and they certainly set up one heck of a next season, and I'll definitely be covering that as well. Gerardo, I didn't get a chance to watch Blood of Zeus Season 3, to be honest with you. Let's see. Alex, there is a new Game of Thrones show supposedly later this year. Not like it's a spin-off, and yeah, I'm excited for that. That should be great. Brett says, hey Grace, I think Disney will rule the $1 billion club again this year. You've got Lilo and Stitch, Zootopia, and Avatar 3. Yeah, and I think Universal will do very well probably with Jurassic as well. Hey Ben Green, thanks for joining. Randall, the word is that the Stranger Things trailer might come out for Stranger Things Day, which is apparently May 31st, a Saturday, which sucks. But yeah, it looks like that's maybe when it's going to come out. Yeah, 80s model. It's great that you're going to get a proper ending for Heartstopper. I think that's what should be focused on. Charlie says, so happy to finally make a live. I'm very happy to have you here. Your lives have been getting me through college. You love the whole community here, even if I don't get to react very much. That's wonderful to hear, Charlie. That's just really nice to hear. That makes me very happy. Chico wants to know when there's going to be a teaser trailer for Zootopia. That doesn't come out till the holidays. You probably won't see that until like August or September, I would think. Maybe in front of Lilo and Stitch. Maybe a teaser, because the movie's going to be that big, but it just seems so early to me to do that. Lawson says, how far out do Marvel trailers come out on average? When roughly do we expect a Doomsday trailer? Probably maybe something at Comic-Con. That, of course, is when Fantastic Four comes out. I think that they're taking a break. They're going to take almost a year off between movies now. And I think that you'll probably get some news at Comic-Con, but you probably wouldn't get a teaser until maybe Avatar, The Last Airbender, for the holidays. X-Men superfan, Emma Frost has to at least have a faux British accent, like Madonna or Dorit. She's got to have that quality for sure. And then James, saying thank you, James, says the video game GTA 5 earned $8.6 billion, and now GTA 6 is announced to come out for the start of the summer movie season in May 2026. Do you think that could affect the movie industry and the summer season? I think I wouldn't want to be the movie that came out the weekend after its release, which was the last weekend of May. Thankfully, it's coming out right after Memorial Day weekend, so hopefully Mandalorian and Grogu will be okay. But if I were a Hollywood movie, unless I felt I played to a very different demographic, I would stay away from that following weekend for sure. I think Hollywood will be fine. But yeah, that one weekend I think is pretty much GTA 6 is. That's an incredible amount of money to be generated by a game. Wow. Derek says, do you know the current status between Comcast and Disney regarding Hulu? They haven't decided what they're going to do there yet. Remember, one of them was going to buy it fully outright, but then they couldn't agree on the valuation for what Hulu was actually worth. And I think they have enough of their own problems otherwise. Let's see. Sahib, your first movie was Spider-Man 3? That's awesome. Jesus says, let's see here. Oh, wow, Gareth. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Let's see. So Jesus says, hey, Grace, do you have a daily routine? Also, I'm honored to be your favorite YouTuber. I'm burning the candle at both ends, man. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on in real life, and then I'm making a lot of videos. You know, it's a little tough. Like, for instance, I need to be out of the office tomorrow, so I can't be at my desk. So that's just a lot of work to make sure I have videos to go up. And then also, there's just so little happening. You know, it's like, even, you know, like there was a really nice time there when there was like headlines constantly. And now it's hard to fill 3 live streams a week. So I'm really hoping that the news cycle picks up. But, you know, that I don't have a daily routine. I'm somebody who's very, you know, I don't like to be predictable in every aspect of my life. I get that from my mother. And so, you know, I really do not have a daily routine whatsoever. Lowell says, if Lilo and Stitch beats Mission Impossible at the box office, when is Stitch the new, then is Stitch the new president of movies? Well, he'll never, you know, Stitch, he's a cute little kid. He's not going to work as hard as Tom Cruise. But, you know, I think, you know, Tom Cruise doesn't have to worry about losing that title. Let's see. Andrew, my favorite Hitchcock film is Rear Window, by far and away. It's my favorite one. I love Rear Window. Present Progressive says, if you were asked to create a new X-Men character from scratch during an elevator ride, what would the name and signature power and wardrobe be? Well, it must be a long elevator ride if I can come up with all that. I think it's hard to come up with new X-Men. As you can see, they haven't created a really good a new X-Men character in a very long time. They just created some new X-Men for Gail Simone's X-Men comic, and I think they're all crap. The last new X-Men members that they created that I liked was a long time ago, and that was Marrow and Dr. Cecilia Reyes. I thought those were good new characters, but I haven't liked anybody else since. Volodymyr, I think Olivia Cooke as Jean Grey is pretty good casting. I would be more into that than Evan Rachel Wood. Kay Walton, is Poker Face Season 2 good? That's great. I got sucked in last night to another new show that I have screeners for Netflix, which is another detective show called Department Q, which comes out at the end of the month with Matthew Good, and that's really good. So I'll have to put a pin in Poker Face for now, but I'm glad to hear it's really good. Rodney, you don't think Avatar 3 is going to be good? I'm excited. Hey, Elise. Yes, hello. New Pope Day. New Pope Day. He's American. America, we know it's a real roller coaster being an American these days. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. Mystic says Zootopia 2 trailer before Elio? I don't know. I think Elio's going to crash and burn at the box office. Mega Man, I don't know what's going on with Ironheart. It's crazy that show debuts so soon and there hasn't been a peep about it. It's nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Thank you, Elpidio. And then Lowell says, with the success of Revenge of the Sith box office, do you think Disney should be re-releasing The Force Awakens for its 10th anniversary? Well, I don't know. Revenge of the Sith really fell off a cliff after one weekend. You know, it only made one weekend's worth of money. So this isn't a huge revenue stream, but it was a nice headline for sure. I think that Disney should focus on making good new Star Wars movies. That's what I'd like to see. Rodney, I have no idea if Wicked for Good will win a lot of awards. I still need to see it, you know, to really understand what they have there. Amy says, do you think How to Train Your Dragon will get an assist from the new theme park? I think it's going to be seriously undercut by Lilo and Stitch. They opened just 2 weeks apart, and I think that's ridiculous. And they're very similar. They both come from Chris Sanders. I think that they're too close. And I think also it continues to be weird to me that How to Train Your Dragon is like a direct shot-for-shot remake. What an odd choice. What an odd decision to make. They seem to have added nothing to it, which is weird. Amy, E.T. the Extraterrestrial was your first movie. I like your 5-year badge next to your name there, Amy. It looks good. Greg says, it feels like people have become so divided that it's next to impossible for a film or series to reach the monoculture at large anymore. Minecraft did it, even if it was everybody deciding that people were going out of control for the movie. Minecraft is almost at $900 million. It'll probably reach $900 million this week. So that did very well. It's still possible. Salvin says, I love Minority Report and War of the Worlds. I wish you could see Tom Cruise in other films besides Mission Impossible, but I will definitely go when the new one comes out. Love to you in Brazil as well. Yeah, Tom Cruise has a really good library of movies. Oh, Poke wants to point out that Disney fully bought Hulu. That's why they can have it on Disney Plus. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I just don't remember what happened. It was like a real non-story. Mike, you rewatched my old Madagascar 2 review? That's funny. I hope the videos have changed considerably still then, but still have the same je ne sais quoi. Alex says, do you have any New York City restaurant recommendations? Well, it's really fun to eat outside in New York City, and the weather is getting really nice here, so I think it would be nice to find some places where you could eat outside. Lowell says, oh, you're on the autism spectrum. You're working on a screenplay for a romantic comedy about autism. Oh, that's a very interesting idea. What movies do you recommend I watch for inspiration? Well, a lot of people felt that Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory was autistic. And so I would look at his romance with Amy. I think a lot of people really liked that quite a bit. I would look at that. I would look at Rain Man, which I think was also, that character was on the spectrum. And of course, you want to check out romantic comedies. And then also, I think you want to have an entry point for all viewers, so I think you should round out the rest of your cast beyond your leads. And I'm curious if both of the people in the couple are autistic, or if it's one autistic person and someone who's not. I'd be curious to see, how you're fleshing out that movie. Don't forget to put your business hat on, even when writing a screenplay. Oh, Amy, I'm not a big Dupe fan. Although I did spot him in the concept art that they had for coming up. I mean, I would appreciate Dupe, but Dupe could just float on by and I would feel satisfied. Oh, Usman, was Mero in the animated show? I don't remember that she was on the animated show. I think she showed up briefly on X-Men 97. Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm a little behind here. Let's see here. Don't worry, I'm going to stay on for like about an hour, so we got a lot of time here. Oh, Ryan, I'm glad you like my shirt. Thank you very much. Thumb holes again. Let's see here. See, David completely forgot about Elio. See, that's not going to do very well. Kyle says, do you think that they will ever follow up on the Jedi temple that Luke was building in the Book of Boba Fett? I'd like to see an animated Jedi Academy series. Well, hopefully that's what the Rey movie will be about. Really focusing on Jedi and where the Jedi Order has gone after a little bit of time. I think that would be really fantastic. And her kind of taking on an Obi-Wan Kenobi sort of role. 80s model, I'm not sure if I'm going to cover Ironheart weekly. Some people suspect Ironheart might be a binge drop. So then I'd have to, of course, cover it, just a review and a spoiler review. Or maybe I just jump right to the spoiler. I'm not sure. I mean, let's see. I hope the show, I would like Ironheart to be a good show. People have pointed out that Ryan Coogler is involved in it, so hopefully it's okay. Jordan, my favorite James Bond actor is Daniel Craig. I mean, I gotta, of course, respect Sean Connery, the OG, but I'm a big Daniel Craig fan. Even though he's made some really crappy James Bond movies, I still like him the best. Relizzy says, I like your photo there. With the Buffy reboot, any interest in watching Buffy, especially while it's slow? I appreciate you trying to get me into Buffy. I might be into new Buffy. I don't see myself going back and watching old Buffy, I just have so much that I'm trying to consume going forward that I just don't know if I want to watch old Buffy. But I appreciate your love for Buffy. Makes me have a lot of interest in the new version. The House of Something says, I know you didn't like Emma Mackey's Narnia casting, but Margaret Qualley looks far too young. She would suit the adult Queen Susan. Oh, that's true. She actually even looks like the actress who played Susan, but not the ancient white witch. Well, isn't she supposed to be like immortal? So I don't think that would really come across in the casting. I was going with Margaret Qualley purely from a business discussion, to be honest with you. I think more people at this point would be interested in Margaret Qualley. Poke says, James Cameron's Avatar or Avatar The Last Airbender? I cannot choose. That is a Sophie's choice. I love them both. I think they're both great. And I really am excited for more Airbender, though. Let's see here. X-Men Superfan says, would you like to see a Wonder Woman show, film, or animated project? Anything. Anything. I'd like to see a movie. I mean, Superman and Batman are up here, and I'm getting tired of women always being sidelined. So I'd like to get a Wonder Woman back in here for Pete's sake. Amy, since I was using green screens and morning movie news and Stacktastic, thank you, Amy. I love ya. I really appreciate that so much. William Wallace says, did you see the new trailer for A24's The Materialist? Yes, it reminded me of my suggestion the other day for the trailer for Thunderbolts, where it should have been, Yelena doesn't know it yet, but by the end of the week, she's going to be a Thunderbolt. I mean, an Avenger. And I was like, there's your trailer. So I like that everybody was like, oh yeah, get the trailer voice back in there. Ben 10, Tom Cruise won't win an Oscar unless it's for stunt work until he's much older. Like, until he starts to look older, when he's playing grandpas, that's when he wins an Oscar. He might even have to settle for an honorary Oscar, but he should just take whatever he can get at this point. Pi wants to know my thoughts on the new Pope. I don't know anything about popes. I'm happy for the Pope. I think it's crazy that America, it's like I said, it's a roller coaster. Everybody's like, boo, America. And then American Pope. So you're like, man, that's crazy out there. But he seems okay from what I could glean from social media. Apparently he has a Twitter account, and people were combing through that. So, he seems cool. I saw one funny joke that communion would now be a Chicago deep dish pizza, and I thought that was pretty funny. That was I appreciated all the Chicago jokes. I thought those were very funny. I hope the new Pope can take a good joke, because some of those were excellent. Sahib says, have you tried the restaurant owned by Gaga's parents? I have not. I have not tried that, but I do know where it is. Mason, I haven't done merch in a while. I'm focusing on some other things right now. B. Brown, I'm sorry you can't super chat, but I see your comment. Juan, both you and your partner Wes are on the autistic spectrum. That's really lovely. That's wonderful that you guys found each other, and I think your partner must be really flattered that it's inspired you to write a screenplay. Chico says, what are your plans tonight? I gotta tell you, sometimes I like to eat like I'm a small child. And tonight I'm thinking fish sticks, macaroni and cheese, and maybe some cherry tomatoes. So that's the adult in me saying, you gotta eat your vegetables, Grace. I had a salad yesterday, goddammit. Okay. Let's see here. B. Brown says, what were your thoughts on the Force Healer in Andor? I honestly, when that scene happened, I was like, how convenient when you're writing a prequel that you can talk about the future. I would be much more impressed if they were talking about a future that we didn't know about yet, and they were actually doing the work to plant the seeds for something that was going to happen going forward. I was like, I'm not a Force Healer. I've just seen Rogue One. He's going to die. But I was like Andor. I was like, get this hippie lady away from me. She was very sweet, though. I thought that she did a nice job with her acting. Let's see here. Pi says, greatest, what if the Joker War storyline was a movie? I don't even remember the Joker War storyline. I don't remember what that was. Let's see. Oh, someone asked me who my favorite Bond. I think I skipped some questions. Hold on. Xtina says, feelings on Kanye's song about his cousin. I don't want to talk about Kanye. Although Xtina also says, who's your favorite Bond girl? Easy. Eva Green. Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie. So everybody in that movie is my favorite. Oh, Louis Love has, I think that's a recommendation for the autistic screenplay, right? The Other Sister with Giovanni Ribisi and Juliette Lewis. That's very kind of you to have a suggestion there. Swamp Thing is enjoying the release model for Andor. I do like having a movie a week, but my quibble is that it starts too late, and it makes me stay up way too late watching those 3 episodes. I wish they dropped, if they're going to drop 3 hours of content, they should drop it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in my opinion. Thanks, Elpidio. I'm glad you're appreciating my view. I'm pretty high up. Lowell says the first movie I remember seeing in theaters was Toy Story 2 and Mulan. Oh, those were good movies. Yeah, it used to be really wonderful to go to the movies. I worry about new generations. I read a horrible article in the New York Magazine today about the extensive use of ChatGPT in college, and I just thought that was really sad. Diego, I'm so happy you enjoyed Warfare. It was my pleasure, my absolute pleasure to recommend it. Seb is seeing a Final Destination double feature with your dad tomorrow. Can't wait for Bloodlines. I'm excited. Yes, and Tony Todd's final performance. That's very, very sad, but also very epic. And I'll be seeing that movie on Monday and reviewing it. I'm not going to make the embargo time exactly. I'll be reviewing it because I have stuff I need to do Tuesday morning. As I told you, I got a lot of stuff happening like in addition to work right now. So it's making my schedule really crazy. So I will be reviewing Final Destination by end of day Tuesday. That's what I'm doing. Look, Aided Buffalo didn't like Warfare. What are you talking about? No story. It had a story. Rodney, I didn't hate Past Lives. I mean, I had problems with how the characters were acting, but I thought it was moving in some points. I think hate is a strong word. I don't remember hating that movie. Thought it was awfully awkward for her husband. Let's see here. Wanda's attorney, I did talk about X-Men at the top of the stream. Somebody told me about it. I think, as I said, let's see if the deal actually comes through, and I hope that he can level up in terms of his ability to direct action. But I do like Jake Schreier a lot. That's right, Xavier. There is a rumor going around that Shah Rukh Khan, who was at the Met Gala, by the way, is going to be in an MCU project. I have not heard that, but I think I can see why Marvel would do that. India is a big supporter of Marvel movies. That's right, Batmod. Batmod agrees with me. Lifetime Oscar for Cruise. David Wayne says, do you think that DC is having trouble with Clayface because they don't know the character? Why can't they do a story where it's like Secret Invasion, but Clayface is hired by a villain? Yeah, Clayface is not a lead, especially not in a movie. I mean, he can hold up for one series very well, and I did like Batman the Caped Crusader, the Clayface episode, which is said to have partially inspired making this movie, but he's not a main character. Hey, Halvarez. And then B Brown, it's my pleasure to cover Andor, even if not everybody loved my coverage. Let's see. Oh, Rodney said I was basically making McDonald's at home for dinner. That's pretty funny. It is a little bit like that, but healthier. Dylan says because I buy the healthy fish sticks. I buy Ian's fish sticks. They're actually pretty good, even though they look kind of like they're toys, like it's like toy food when you take them out of the freezer, but they have no bad stuff in them. Dylan says, any new tea about the Scarlet Witch movie that was in Production Weekly a couple of months ago? I mean, see, don't take Production Weekly that seriously. Podge Durka says that, I've seen this as an interesting stance, that some people believe that because you're this is I just want to say it's obviously a very, very emotional conversation, and everybody's trying to protect the jobs in their own country. And I totally think that's understandable, which is why I said that I think that filming location shooting overseas still totally makes sense. And I would love to see, South Korea has made a lot of wonderful content that has really captured people all over the world. And I think it would be great to see more stories, that are coming from companies within other countries. Hollywood only has so much power because it's been given so much power. And so as a capitalist, I would say that if it's truly an international market, I would like to see, look how Godzilla, the last Godzilla movie did. That came from Japan. I'd like to see more movies that are fully productions in terms of also executives and studio from other countries, and see those do really well in the marketplace. I think that would be a very exciting, and I'm very much in favor of that, and creating a competitive marketplace. Let's see here. Pope, I don't know what the Pope does. I mean, clearly the Pope means a lot to a lot of Catholics still all across the globe. And so this, it's very important. Matthew says Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan need the stunt Oscar. Maybe they should present it together if they're not both competing for it. X-Men Superfan says, isn't it strange that Supergirl gets a film before Wonder Woman? Well, that's only because she's showing up in the Superman movie. And I guess also, I think it's hard to recast Wonder Woman after, Gal Gadot. While now she's not very popular, she was very well received in the role in the first place. Faye, I didn't see that they're casting the Mexican spinoff of The Boys just yet, but I'm very excited for that show. I could not be more excited for that show and what it means for all franchises going forward. I think that's really, really exciting. Oh, Justin, I got you and your wife to get into Hacks. That makes me so happy. You're just starting it for the first time. You have so many great seasons ahead of you. It just gets better and better, that show. I think season 2, was not quite as strong, but it's never bad, and it's really a good show. Let's see here. Oh, I'm missing some questions here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, Elise, I'm so sorry you didn't get the notification. YouTube is really wonky sometimes for this live stream. I would recommend making sure if you follow me on social media, and if you don't want to be on Twitter, I get it. You can follow me on Twitter and allow notifications for my tweets. And then you'll at least just see my tweets without having to open the app. And that way I always let you know I always give you at least a half-hour notice as to when I'm going live. Saud says, Grace, you finally caught a live stream. Hooray! What's my comfort film or the film that made you fall in love with cinema? Well, as I said, Alfred Hitchcock had a really big influence on me. And also, the heyday of blockbuster filmmaking that was ushered in by Steven Spielberg. That was very influential on me as well. And a lot of people, it really created a lot of film fans. And I'm nervous about what film fans are being created today. I hope that I'm helping out a little bit. My comfort film is stuff that I don't cover. Any space where I'm not covering. So shows or movies that are not usually comic book or franchise related, I can just turn my brain off and enjoy them. That's my comfort food. It's hard for me to watch anything that's in a space where I'm covering it without me thinking, okay, how can I cover this? How would it work? Ivan, happy early birthday. Oh, you're having a Fantastic Four themed party. Are you going to be Reed? That's excellent. I just saw them apparently doing some reshoots for something where Julia Garner was a human Silver Surfer. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't even know if that's actually what's happening there. But that was something I saw that was pretty surprising about that film. Maria, there's been nothing about season 2 of Adolescence. Right now, it's just an idea because of how well the show did. Again, just like with Sinners, I bet you they don't really, really push for that until after award season. Emmy nominations come out July 15th. And so I think you're going to see, maybe you'll see some serious discussion after that. See here. Lowell says, you turned 30 last week. What are the best movies about turning 30? The only one I can think of is 13 Going on 30, that Jennifer Garner movie. I don't know any other ones, really. Oh, see, Zay said the same thing. I love it. Nico, I haven't seen the Eternaut on Netflix yet, but I did see that it was recommended. Sergio, hey Sergio, thanks for joining. Xtina, I haven't seen Sunset Boulevard with Nicole Scherzinger, but I saw that it got a lot of Emmy and Tony nominations, and I've heard quite a bit about it. Carter B says, I've been enjoying your videos through college. Yay! And you graduate tomorrow. Yay! We got you through it. Congratulations. That's so exciting. I hope you have a wonderful graduation. Thanks, Matthew. I'm glad you enjoyed my Andor coverage as well. Howdy, Sergio. Tatson says, just a huge thanks for all the great content. Refreshing and often provocative. I'm so glad that you look at it that way. Here's something for your Tokyo Disney fun. That's so generous of you, Tatson. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate that, especially when it's so slow right now. I mean, it's just, you feel like it's never going to pick up. It's really scary. Sergio, I do believe Kathleen Kennedy will leave by the end of the year and just go on to do something else like Amy Pascal. She has a lot of friends in Hollywood. That's why she got the job, and she still continue to have them. And she did make a couple billion-dollar movies, even if everybody hated them. I'm not sure who's going to lead the franchise. I would hope it was not. I don't think Dave Filoni even wants to do it, but I think James Gunn is proving that it needs to be another executive. You cannot have creatives run a franchise. And not someone like Peter Safran, who's not willing to totally quit producing movies on his own. It needs to be someone who's going to make their life that brand, just like has been the case with Kevin Feige. Although we'll see. I mean, Amy Pascal and David Heyman aren't going to quit what they do to go make James Bond, but that has a lot less output. So that's makes it a little bit different. Although Amazon, I think, wants to crank up Bond content to an 11. Oh, real life, Quinn, you picked up Superbia, my comic book. That makes me so happy. I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. I'm very proud of that. I'm really proud of that. Let's see, what else here? I've never been to Trader Joe's, David Wayne. I do have a friend who likes their matcha, so I was once in a Trader Joe's to pick up their matcha with them. I was like, oh, let's go. They were like, I gotta go to Trader Joe's and pick up some matcha. And I was like, okay. I don't like matcha. But that's the first and last time I was ever in a Trader Joe's. Let's see. Mason says that he and his boyfriend have never watched the Bond movie. What? Yes, you can start with Casino Royale because that's the first Daniel Craig Bond movie. They start over fresh with every Bond. So you should totally watch Casino Royale. It has a lot of sexy scenes in it. You should totally watch that. Hamish Steele says, what accent do you think Robert Downey Jr. will try for with Dr. Doom? I didn't even think of that, but I don't know. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. can win as Doom. I think no matter what he does, people are going to make fun of it because I don't think he should be Doom, and I think everybody agrees. You guys like a poll? Let's do a poll. I mean, look, I'm open to having my mind changed. Do you like, hold on, Robert Downey Jr. as Doom? Great idea. Horrible idea. And then need to see it. By the way, anyone who's watching can vote in a poll. You don't have to be a member to vote in a poll. All right. Oh, yeah, who asked that? Armin, I finished The Pit a while ago. Great binge. Again, as I said before, I don't know how anybody watched it week to week. It's a binge. Let's see. Okay. Art lover, Twitter has become very difficult. I would agree with that. And I think it's a little addictive. And in that ChatGPT article I read, this one woman said she was addicted to TikTok. And she spent so many hours of a day on it that it made her eyes hurt. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going on TikTok. Ilya, Spielberg is fantastic. He is like McDonald's. Spielberg, I think he's a little off his game lately, but when Spielberg's good, he's really good. Hey, Alexander Padilla. Okay. Let's see. YouTube. Oh. Sorry about that. YouTube's freezing on me. I had to reload. Am I still live? Yeah. YouTube, get your act together. Let's see here. Let me go back here. I'm almost caught up. Okay, so Xavier says, I think I already answered your question about that actor. Garnet Fire, almost a year. I'm excited for you to get your badge. Harry Burns says, hey, Grace, new member here. I just moved to the West Village. Do you recommend anything to do around that area before my friends arrive? I don't know the West Village that well, to be honest with you. I think the best thing I can recommend with the West Village is exploring. And you'll find a lot of exciting, beautiful things there that are like hidden away. And so particularly the area around Washington Square Park, I believe, is very popular. Little Italy is a great place to spend time. A lot of great Chinatown. Just, it's been a while since I've been down there. They always say like above 14th Street or below 14th Street. Nobody really passes the 14th Street line. I'm an above 14th Street person. So I don't get downtown as much as I would like. Happy birthday, Mystic. Happy early birthday. Your little brother Gabriel says, Grace, can you do the hello and welcome to Morning Movie News? Hello and welcome to Morning Movie News. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Actually, I think streaming in the afternoon is actually best, though. But we had a lot of fun with that. Ryan says, so glad you reacted to the Conjuring trailer. Yeah, that was fun. That was great. I think it's going to do well. I mean, it's bad luck that it came out the day that the Pope was announced. Warner Brothers is like, I can't believe it. But I think the movie will do well. Lowell says, what are your thoughts on the rumor of Shrek 5's plot being about Shrek and friends going into the real world like Smurfs and Enchanted? I hate that. I hope that's not what it is. I want to see them make fun of Disney and fairy tales. Ashton says, just submitted a self-tape for a commercial. Oh, that's wonderful. Break a leg. I hope it does well. I hope you do well. I'm just, you should just be proud of yourself for putting yourself out there. Pi says, the Joker War is the storyline that introduced Punchline. I hate Punchline. Ugh, not a Punchline fan. There was a lot of potential there, but it never materialized. Maria says, do you ever try working out before bedtime? I don't know. It's so hard. I like to just kind of relax before bedtime. Usually I like to work out in the afternoon, or maybe sometimes I can make myself do it early in the morning. But that's a good recommendation. Thank you for the recommendation, Maria. Everybody should find out what works best for them. Tyler says there's eye candy at Trader Joe's. Yeah, I'm behind, so I'm only seeing your comments now on some stuff. Oh, Dane's a Wegmans person. Wegmans is pretty great. I like Wegmans. There's a Wegmans downtown in the Village. For that person looking for the Village, you can go to Wegmans. Let's see here. Let me close the poll. Derek wants me to do a review of theme parks. I don't know. I kind of like just... it says I'm having an error with my stream. Killing me, YouTube. Okay, I think I'm not as, I don't have the same, is the picture sharp for you guys? Let me close the poll. Thank you, Cat Jack. I like that sticker you used there. That's really nice. All right, so 50% of you say you need to see it. So you're giving Robert Downey Jr. the benefit of the doubt. He is an Oscar winner. 37% of you think it's a horrible idea, which I agree with. And then only 11% of you think it's a good idea, a great idea. Those numbers don't surprise me. Oh, I'm glad the picture looks good on your end. That's excellent. Let's see here. Thanks, Ryan K. I appreciate that. Dan, I post a lot on Twitter, and I don't want to put too much posting on YouTube because that's where it's supposed to be focusing on watching my videos. So I don't think that I would do that. I wouldn't do that. Dwight, I'm getting more into podcasts. I'm certainly starting to pay a lot of attention to that space. Just a few minutes left, and then I got to get back to my videos. Joey Diabolic says, any movement in Hollywood about rebooting A Nightmare on Elm Street? I think they already did that recently. I don't think they're going to do that anytime in the near future. Rodney says, Grace, is Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious overstaying? I think that Fast and Furious definitely overstayed its welcome, and I think that let's see how Mission Impossible does. Let's see how it does. The last one really tanked. Eddie Wu loves Wegmans. It's good. They have good, not everything at Wegmans is great, but when they hit the spot, they really hit the spot. Garnet Fire, chicken nugget money. Thank you. I love it. I appreciate it. I do love me some chicken nuggets. X-Men Superfan, I would definitely greenlight a Gotham City Sirens film. 1000% I would greenlight that movie. As long as they could keep the budget under $100 million. And I would call up Chad Stahelski and ask him to direct it. Ethan says, and he, of course, did some of the sequences in Birds of Prey, but couldn't save it. Ethan says, what's the most underrated DC animated movie? Ooh, the Wonder Woman animated movie was really good. James, I don't play video games, so I would not stream a video game, unfortunately. But I appreciate you asking. Justin gave me more chicken nugget money. Ah, it's right in chicken nuggies. Forecast chicken nuggies. Charlie says, would you watch a Truman Show reboot? I don't think you could top. Maybe I would not. Maybe I would, especially if it was a series, because of the way social media is these days. It could be interesting, actually. Who's going to sleep there? I saw somebody going to bed. Good night, Cat Shack. Ryan, I've never been to Costco. I think once I was at a Costco in White Plains. But I've never really been to Costco. I hear stories of its amazing pizza and hot dog. It's like IKEA. It's like what IKEA used to be. And everybody go to IKEA to get a hot dog or Swedish meatballs. Pi says, Grace, who will win at the box office? Lilo and Stitch or How to Train Your Dragon? You suspect Lilo and Stitch will win. Yeah, I think for sure. I think it's going to blow How to Train Your Dragon out of the water. Real life, you already got House of M. That was WandaVision. Enrique, I would love to see Poison Ivy back. I feel really bad that nobody wants to do Poison Ivy. My pleasure, lol. My pleasure, lol. Thank you very much. Oh, David Wayne. Yeah, Batman Mask of the Phantom is amazing, but it's not underrated. I mean, that gets the respect it's supposed to, as well as Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Carl, I did see that. You guys, I was informed of the X-Men headline at the top of the stream. And I said I think it was good. I think he's a little bit small as a director for that, but perhaps he'll level up as it would be his second film like that. Oh, Atomsphere, you got a new badge. I love it. X-Men superfan, I hope Halle Berry's back as Storm. I haven't heard anything about it, though. Okay. Elizabeth, I'm so glad you're getting to do a lot of streams this week. That's fantastic. And congrats on your 1-year badge as well. Kareem says Costco hot dog is indeed glorious. Scion, I don't know where Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 2 is, but they're not going to be bringing back the original team, which makes me sad and less interested in it. But they have been casting it. A Costco churro? Maybe. Rodney, I'm all about the chicken nuggets, and I also like the fish sandwich at McDonald's, but I always get the same thing at McDonald's. I get a chicken nugget meal with a Diet Coke, I'm sorry to say, and the pack of chocolate chip cookies. I get that every time. That's what I order at McDonald's. That's my order. I don't know if I'm going to pay attention to Can. Maybe if I need stories for live streams next week, potentially. All right, so it's been an hour. I had a lovely time talking to all of you. Sahib, that's what a thing to throw into the chat as I'm closing down. I'm very sorry to hear that, Sahib. I hope you have someone you can talk to about that. That's a very serious situation. But thank you for joining me. I'm going to have a video up tomorrow. I'm hoping to have a video up on Sunday to take the place of Movie Math because it's Mother's Day, and then Movie Math will go up on Monday. And I will see you all very, very soon with live streams next week. Next week there will be reviews for Final Destination and also for Mission Impossible, although I will be late on both of them. I won't be making the embargo for either of them, but I'll be putting my reviews up very close to the embargo. All right, everybody. See you soon.